Welcome to Lifespan, the weekly podcast that digs up the dirt on the most outrageous, chaotic, and downright WTF lives ever lived. Forget what you learned in school. This is history's unhinged side.
Yeah, we're diving deep today.
Today, prepare yourself for a truly bizarre journey into the utterly unbelievable story of Helen of Troy. Forget the pretty pictures and the romantic notions. We're plunging headfirst into the myths and legends surrounding the woman whose face, as they say, launched 1,000 ships.
In a whole lot of insane stories.
Absolutely. We've gathered a mountain of ancient testimonies to unpack this for you, and trust us, you won't believe where it all began.
Our mission today, as we embark on this bizarre journey for you, is really to navigate the wild and often completely contradictory accounts of Helen's life.
It's a real maze, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
We're aiming to separate the somewhat plausible, and I use that term loosely, from the truly mind-boggling.
Right.
And more importantly, we want to highlight the key moments that cemented her story as this enduring and, frankly, quite bonkers legend.
You wanted to understand the real story, or, as real as it gets with ancient myth.
Exactly. Behind the myth. And that's what we're going to try and do for you.
Okay, let's unpack this right from the very beginning for you, shall we? Helen's origin story. I mean, seriously, an egg.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It starts weird.
The testimonies we have paint a picture of a Genesis that is anything but ordinary. It really sets the stage for the sheer strangeness that follows her.
Definitely.
The most well-known version involves Zeus in full swan mode.
Right, the swan.
And Leda, the queen of Sparta, down by the Eurotas River. I mean, a swan, really.
Look, it's mythology, right? What's fascinating here for you to consider is the immediate departure from typical human birth.
Completely.
The swan form of Zeus, whether you read it as seduction or something more forceful, it immediately elevates Helen beyond the mortal realm.
And it's not just Helen, is it? These testimonies often mention her siblings, Clytemnestra, Castor, and Pollux.
Yeah, the whole crew. Also emerging from these eggs, it's this multi-birth scenario with mixed parentage between Zeus and King Tyndareus.
Her mortal stepfather.
Exactly. That truly emphasizes the extraordinary nature of this event for you.
Right. It's like a mythological Kinder Egg.
Yeah.
But instead of a cheap toy, you get demigods.
Kind of, yeah.
But wait, it gets even weirder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's this whole other origin story involving Zeus and Nemesis, the goddess of retribution.
Oh, yeah. This one's something else.
This one takes the divine animal transformation trope to a whole new level for you.
Indeed. If we connect this to the bigger picture of Greek mythology for you, the Zeus-Nemesis version introduces this element of divine retribution right from Helen's conception.
So Nemesis is trying to escape Zeus.
Right. She shapeshifts into various creatures, finally a goose. And Zeus, not to be outdone, mirrors her as either a goose or a swan. The accounts do vary, leading to Helen's birth from an egg laid by Nemesis.
So in one version for you, she's the product of divine swan on human action. And in the other, it's divine goose on goose, or goose on swan, depending on who you ask.
Pretty much. It's fascinating how these contrasting origin stories highlight the imaginative and often contradictory nature of ancient myths, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. What does this bizarre beginning tell you about how the ancient Greeks viewed Helen?
Well, this raises an important question for you about Helen's inherent status. Regardless of which origin story you consider, the theme of divine intervention is constant.
She's marched from the start.
Exactly. Being born from an egg, a symbol often associated with creation and the primordial, immediately sets Helen apart. She's not just beautiful, she's imbued with a divine spark, a connection to the gods' desires, and, in the case of the Nemesis myth, potentially their wrath. This unconventional birth essentially marks her as someone whose life will be anything but ordinary, touched by the hand of the divine from the very start, as you can see.
And speaking of not ordinary for you, let's talk about Helen's childhood. Apparently, her legendary beauty made her a target practically before she even hit puberty.
It's quite disturbing, actually.
Some testimonies claim she was kidnapped as young as 7, by Theseus, no less, the Minotaur slayer.
Yeah, the Theseus. What's fascinating here for you is the motivation attributed to him. The testimonies suggest he believed that a son of a god, like himself,
Right, he had divine parentage too.
deserved a wife with similar divine connections. Young Helen, even at that tender age, was already renowned for her beauty, making her a prime candidate in his eyes.
Wow.
This early abduction really highlights the dangerous nature of her beauty and the objectification she faced from a remarkably young age, as you might find disturbing. To be seen as a prize worthy of kidnapping even before adolescence. It's quite something to think about for you.
Absolutely. And it wasn't like she was just taken and forgotten. Theseus entrusted her to his mother, Aethra,
Mm-hmm.
while he went off on his own adventure to kidnap Persephone.
Yeah.
Just a casual stroll to the underworld to snatch the queen of the dead.
I know. It's like, Mom, could you babysit this future legend while I pop down to Hades for you to consider? The audacity is quite remarkable for you to appreciate, isn't it?
It really is.
But this kidnapping didn't go unanswered. Her twin brothers, Castor and Pollux, the Dioscuri,
The two
weren't exactly going to stand for this. The testimonies describe a swift and decisive military campaign launched against Athens to rescue their sister for you.
Talk about sibling goals for you. They didn't just send a strongly worded letter. They brought the full force of Spartan, well, whatever force they commanded at that age, to Athens.
Right, a proper rescue mission.
And they got Helen back, but not without taking Theseus's mother, Aethra, as a prisoner in return. It's like a mythological tit-for-tat for you.
Exactly. This rapid and forceful response from Castor and Pollux underscores not only the strong protective bonds within Helen's family, but also her immense value for you to understand. The fact that her abduction warranted such a significant military action, even at a young age, foreshadows the larger conflicts that would erupt later in her life due to her beauty. It sets a precedent. Trying to take Helen has serious consequences for you to note.
Fast forward a bit for you, and Helen matures, her beauty apparently reaching peak levels. Suddenly, she's got more suitors than a dating app in a crowded city.
Yeah, pretty much. Kings and heroes from all over Greece were lining up to ask for her hand.
It must have been quite a headache for her stepfather, King Tyndareus, as you can imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Choosing one suitor risked alienating all the others, potentially leading to widespread conflict. This was a real political tightrope walk for Tyndareus for you to appreciate.
Oh, okay.
And this is where Odysseus, ever the clever strategist, steps in with his brilliant, albeit ultimately fateful, solution, the oath of Tyndareus, as the testimonies tell us.
Ah, yes, the oath for you, Odysseus, in exchange for Tyndareus' support in his own pursuit of Penelope.
Right, there was a bit of a quid pro quo there.
Suggested that all the suitors swear to defend Helen's chosen husband. It sounds like a smart move on paper, right? Prevent future squabbles for you.
On the surface, it seems like a masterstroke of diplomacy for you to consider, binding all these powerful figures to a single outcome.
But
However, if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, this oath essentially created a powder keg waiting for a spark. It meant that if Helen were ever to leave her chosen husband, or if her marriage was challenged, the entire Greek world would be obligated to intervene. And that, of course, is exactly what happened, as you know.
So eventually, Helen chooses Menelaus, king of Sparta. Some of the testimonies suggest he wasn't exactly the most dazzling of the suitors for you. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Was it a love match? A strategic alliance for you?
The testimonies do offer some hints for you that Menelaus might not have been the most impressive or charismatic of the bunch. Perhaps Helen sought stability and a secure position as Queen of Sparta.
Maybe Agamemnon's influence, being Menelaus' brother, played a role for you to think about.
That's very possible. It's also possible that after being the object of so much intense scrutiny, a more grounded and less flamboyant option appealed to her. We don't really get Helen's personal feelings on the matter in great detail in most of these accounts for you, so it's largely speculation.
Fair enough. And for a while, it seems like things were relatively normal for you, right? Queen of Sparta, daughter Hermione,
Yeah, Hermione.
maybe a few other kids, depending on who you believe. A period of, dare I say, domestic bliss before all the craziness erupted for you.
That's the picture some of the testimonies paint for you, yes. A period of relative peace and stability. This makes the subsequent events all the more jarring for you to consider.
Right.
Helen wasn't a discontented runaway wife in all accounts. She was a queen in her own right, with familial ties and responsibilities. This raises further questions about the motivations and circumstances surrounding her later departure for you.
But the gods, as they often do, had other plans for you. Enter Eris, the goddess of discord.
Ah, yes. Eurus, always stirring up trouble.
Feeling left out of a wedding feast. Her party favor for you. A golden apple inscribed to the fairest. Talk about passive-aggressive.
Huh. Yeah, exactly. What's fascinating here for you is how such a seemingly minor slight among the gods could have such monumental consequences in the mortal realm.
Everything spirals.
This golden apple becomes the catalyst for a divine beauty pageant, with Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite all vying for the title of fairest for you. And naturally, they couldn't just settle it amongst themselves.
Nope. They had to drag Zeus into it,
Yeah.
who, being the wise ruler he was, basically said, "Not my problem,"
Pretty much punted it.
and punted the decision down to a mortal. Paris, Prince of Troy, who was just chilling on Mount Ida, tending sheep for you to picture.
Exactly. Zeus, perhaps wisely avoiding the wrath of two powerful goddesses, delegates this incredibly important judgment to a young prince who, at this point, has no real connection to the unfolding drama for you. This highlights the often frivolous and self-serving nature of the divine interventions in these myths for you to consider.
So picture this for you. 3 goddesses walk up to a shepherd. It sounds like the start of a bad joke, but the stakes couldn't have been higher.
No kidding.
Each goddess offered Paris a bribe to swoop with political power, offering him dominion over Asia. A pretty sweet deal, you'd think.
Indeed. Hera's offer appealed to the ambition of a ruler, promising immense political influence and control over a vast territory for you to understand. For a prince who might have felt somewhat removed from the center of power, this would have been a tempting prospect.
Then there's Athena for you, goddess of wisdom and warfare, promising Paris unparalleled wisdom and victory in battle.
Also very tempting.
That's the kind of offer that would appeal to a hero, someone looking for glory on the battlefield for you.
Precisely. Athena's bribe tapped into the heroic ideal, offering Paris a path to military renown and strategic brilliance for you. Victory and lasting glory in warfare would have been a significant incentive for many ambitious young men in ancient Greece.
But ultimately, it was Aphrodite for you, the goddess of love and beauty, who sealed the deal with the promise of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen.
Bingo!
Never mind that she was already married.
And this is the crux of the matter for you. Aphrodite's offer played directly to what some accounts suggest was Paris's primary interest: romantic love and beauty. The fact that Helen was already married to Menelaus seems to have been a secondary consideration, both for Aphrodite in making the offer and for Paris in accepting it for you. This decision, based on personal desire rather than political or strategic gain, had catastrophic consequences for you to appreciate.
Because, of course, the 2 rejected goddesses, Hera and Athena, were not exactly thrilled with Paris's choice for you.
It's not even slightly.
They basically became Team Greece for the upcoming war, ensuring that the conflict would have divine backing. Talk about a beauty contest with serious repercussions for you.
The personal vendetta of Hera and Athena against Troy, stemming from this perceived slight, underscores the volatile and often irrational nature of the Olympian gods for you to consider.
Definitely.
Their direct involvement on the Greek side guaranteed that the Trojan War would be far more than just a dispute between mortals. It would be a conflict fueled by divine anger and intervention for you.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question for you. Helen's departure from Sparta with Paris. Did she jump, or was she pushed? By a god, perhaps.
The big one.
The testimonies offer a real mixed bag on whether it was seduction, abduction, or divine manipulation for you.
This is arguably the most debated and nuanced aspect of Helen's story for you. The testimonies present a spectrum of possibilities, reflecting the complexities of human motivation and the pervasive influence of the divine in Greek mythology.
So what are the options?
Well, some accounts portray Helen as willingly eloping with Paris, perhaps captivated by his charm or genuinely falling in love for you to consider.
You know, the whole love at first sight trope, amplified by divine intervention? Maybe for you.
Exactly. Then other narratives depict a more forceful scenario for you, with Paris abducting Helen against her will. Some interpretations even use stronger language, implying a violent seizure.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's the idea that Aphrodite, fulfilling her promise, simply enchanted Helen, leaving her with no choice but to follow Paris for you.
So she's either a runaway bride, a damsel in distress, or a puppet of the gods for you.
Yeah.
It really changes how you view her role in the whole mess, doesn't it?
Completely. It's central to how we interpret her agency, or lack thereof.
And some accounts even mention Paris stealing treasure from Menelaus while he was at it for you.
Right. Talk about adding insult to injury and violating the sacred laws of hospitality, Xenia.
That's a huge deal in ancient Greece, right?
Yes. Oh, massive. The violation of Xenia is a crucial point for you to understand. Paris was Menelaus' guest, entitled to his protection and hospitality. To not only abscond with his wife, but also to steal his property was a grave transgression in ancient Greek society, providing a strong moral justification for the subsequent war for you. Whether Helen was complicit in this theft is unclear, but it certainly adds another layer of wrongdoing to Paris's actions for you.
So they sail off to Troy, and Helen finds herself in the enemy camp for you. Her reception there seems to have been just as complex as her departure.
Yeah, not exactly a warm welcome from everyone.
Some welcomed her, while others, not so much for you.
The testimonies paint a fascinating picture of Helen's life in Troy for you. King Priam and Hector, the noble prince,
Right.
are often depicted as treating her with respect, even affection. Priam, in some accounts, seems to understand the role of the gods in her arrival and views her with a certain empathy for you.
Hmm.
Hector, while deeply regretting the conflict his brother has instigated, also shows kindness towards Helen for you.
But then you have Hecuba for you, Paris's mother, who was definitely not on the welcome Helen committee.
Not at all. She saw Helen as the root of all their problems, the woman who would bring about Troy's downfall.
You can't really blame her, can you, from her perspective?
Hecuba's animosity is understandable for you, given the potential consequences of Helen's presence in Troy. As a mother and queen, she would naturally be concerned about the safety and future of her family and her city for you.
Yeah.
This division in Troy highlights Helen's precarious position, a figure of immense beauty and significance, yet also a potential harbinger of destruction for you to note.
And despite being the wife of a Trojan prince for you, some of the testimonies we have suggest Helen was filled with regret, longing for her life back in Sparta, for Menelaus and Hermione. Homer's Iliad really leans into this, doesn't it?
Yes, the Iliad offers a more introspective portrayal of Helen for you, depicting her as deeply unhappy and filled with self-loathing for the war that has erupted because of her.
So not just this beautiful object, but someone with feelings, regrets.
Exactly. She expresses a longing for her former life and laments the suffering she has caused to both sides of the conflict for you. This internal conflict adds a layer of depth to her character, moving beyond the simplistic image of a femme fatale for you.
Interestingly for you, some of the more obscure accounts even mention Helen and Paris having children in Troy.
Right, that's not always mentioned. Sons named Bunomus, Aganus, and Idaeus, and even another daughter named Helen.
Wow. Their fates, sadly, seem to have been pretty tragic.
Yes. These accounts of Helen's children in Troy, while not universally accepted, add another dimension to her experience during the war for you. If she did bear children with Paris, it would further complicate her loyalties and her reasons for remaining in Troy. The fact that their fates are often depicted as tragic underscores the pervasive suffering caused by the war, affecting even the innocent for you.
So Helen's gone, the oath is invoked for you, and Greece is in an uproar. Menelaus, understandably furious, rallies the troops.
The oath kicks in.
And his big brother Agamemnon leads a massive army, 1,000 ships, they say, to Troy for a 10-year siege, all for one woman for you. It sounds almost unbelievable.
The sheer scale of the Greek expedition underscores the significance of Helen's departure and the binding nature of the Oath of Tyndareus for you to understand.
Right. That oath was key.
The assembly of such a massive force from across the Greek world demonstrates the importance placed on marital rights, honor, and the obligations of the oath. Helen becomes this central figure, the object around which this decade-long conflict revolves.
Yeah.
Even though her direct participation in the fighting is minimal for you.
And initially, they did try to get her back peacefully for you, right? Diplomatic efforts were made.
They did try. Demands were sent to Troy, but King Priam refused.
It seems like the die was cast pretty early on for you.
Yes, the testimonies mention initial attempts at diplomacy for you, with the Greeks demanding Helen's return and the restitution of the stolen treasures. However, Priam's refusal, whether out of loyalty to Paris or perhaps influenced by divine will, made war seem inevitable for you.
Right.
Even the attempted duel between Paris and Menelaus, a way to resolve the conflict without further bloodshed.
That was meant to settle it, wasn't it?
It was, but it was ultimately thwarted by divine intervention. Aphrodite saving Paris, prolonging the war, and reinforcing Helen's role as the prize for you.
Public opinion in ancient Greece at the time for you. It sounds like Helen wasn't exactly winning any popularity contests. Shameless seems to be a word that pops up quite a bit.
That's a fair assessment for you. Ancient Greek society had fairly strict expectations for women, particularly married women. Helen's departure from her husband and home was seen as a major transgression, and public opinion largely condemned her for it for you.
Even with the whole potential divine influence angle.
Even so, this negative perception persisted throughout the war and beyond, even though, as we've discussed, the circumstances of her departure were complex and involved divine influence as well as the actions of Paris for you. She carried the blame.
Real, after 10 long years, Troy finally falls for you. What happens to Helen then? Does she get her happily ever after?
Well, happily ever after might be stretching it. The testimonies seem to diverge quite a bit on her fate for you.
Okay, what's the main story?
The most common version, the one often depicted in later literature and art for you, is that Helen is reunited with Menelaus.
Reunited. Just like that.
Despite everything that has happened, the war, her time with Paris, Menelaus is so struck by her beauty upon seeing her again that his anger melts away and he forgives her.
Seriously?
Hmm.
Her beauty saves her again.
Apparently so. They then return to Sparta and supposedly live out their lives in peace. The Odyssey even shows them in Sparta hosting Telemachus for you.
So, a clean slate for you, no hard feelings. It seems a little too neat and tidy after all that chaos.
It does feel a bit convenient, doesn't it?
And you mentioned a darker version from Rhodes for you?
Yes, the tradition from Rhodes offers a much grimmer ending for Helen for you.
Okay, what happens there?
In this account, after Menelaus dies, she's driven out of Sparta by her stepsons, who blame her for their father's long absence and maybe other family issues.
Right, holding her responsible.
She seeks refuge with Polyxo, the widow of a hero killed in the Trojan War to Tlepolemus. But Polyxo, harboring her own vengeful feelings, orchestrates Helen's murder by hanging while she's bathing. Her handmaidens, disguised as Furies, do the deed.
Wow, that's quite a contrast to the peaceful return for you. Brutal.
It's a stark and tragic end for you, a reminder of the lingering bitterness of the war.
And then there's the whole she was never really in Troy theory, with the phantom image and the real Helen chilling in Egypt for you.
Oh yes, the Eidolon theory. This alternative narrative, popularized by the poet Stesichorus and the playwright Euripides for you, offers a completely different perspective.
So what's the story there?
It suggests that Hera, in her anger at Paris or Zeus, created an Eidolon, a phantom image, a ghost of Helen, which Paris took to Troy.
So the war was fought over. Nothing. A phantom.
Essentially, yes. According to this version, the real Helen was spirited away, perhaps by Hermes, and kept safely in Egypt under the protection of King Proteus. Menelaus only discovered the real Helen on his journey home after the war.
It completely changes everything.
It does. It essentially absolves Helen of any responsibility for the war, portraying her as a victim of divine manipulation for you. It's a fascinating revisionist take.
So depending on which testimony you believe for you, Helen either goes back to a forgiving husband, gets murdered in revenge, or was never even in Troy to begin with.
Exactly. Talk about a range of outcomes.
And then there are even legends of her becoming a goddess or marrying Achilles in the afterlife for you.
Yes, some traditions elevate Helen to divine status after her death for you, suggesting she ascends to Mount Olympus, perhaps joining her father Zeus.
And the Achilles thing.
And the legend of her post-mortem marriage to Achilles in the underworld, or the Isles of the Blessed, is another fascinating, if somewhat bizarre, detail for you. It speaks to their enduring legendary status and the continued extraordinary nature attributed to them even beyond death.
From ancient vases to modern blockbusters for you, Helen's story just keeps getting retold and reinterpreted. She's clearly struck a chord that resonates through the ages.
Absolutely. Beyond the ancient texts, Helen has been a constant source of inspiration for artists and writers for millennia for you. Her image in ancient art, often as the epitome of beauty, reflects the aesthetic ideals of the time. Her story has been adapted and reimagined in countless ways, each era and each creator bringing their own perspective to her complex character and motivations for you, from Euripides and Sappho right through the Renaissance to today.
And in modern times for you, we're still fascinated by her, aren't we? Often exploring her agency and challenging those traditional, often quite harsh views of her.
Yes, definitely. Modern interpretations often seek to give Helen more agency for you to understand her perspective and to challenge the patriarchal narratives that have dominated her story for so long.
Trying to figure out who she was in all this.
Exactly. This ongoing reevaluation speaks to the timeless nature of her story and its continued relevance in discussions about beauty, power, desire, responsibility, and the roles of women in society for you.
And now for the really unbelievable stuff for you. The obscure tales, the fascinating trivia that you might not hear every day.
The deep cuts.
Like that darker ending in Rhodes where she gets hanged by Polyxo. That's pretty brutal for you.
It is a stark and less romanticized ending for you, highlighting the potential for long-lasting resentment and the tragic consequences of war that extend far beyond the battlefield. Really makes you think.
And the post-mortem romance with Achilles in the Elysian Fields for you.
Yeah.
That's just wild. The ultimate power couple of the afterlife.
It's certainly a vivid and imaginative detail for you, suggesting a continuation of their legendary status even in the realm of the dead. A strange kind of reward, maybe.
And this little tidbit from John Lilly, I think it was, about a small scar on Helen's face for you.
Oh, right. That's such a humanizing detail for someone known for such perfect, almost otherworldly beauty.
It really is.
Exactly. It's a reminder for you that even the most idealized figures in myth might have had their own imperfections, making them perhaps a little more relatable, not just a flawless face.
And the conflicting accounts of Helen's role during the Trojan horse episode for you. Was she helping the Greeks or trying to expose them?
Yeah, that's another ambiguity, isn't it? Some say she walked around the horse imitating the voices of the Greek warriors' wives to lure them out,
Trying to trick them.
or maybe testing them. Others suggest she signaled to the Greeks from the walls. These conflicting accounts highlight the ambiguity surrounding Helen's loyalties and her potential agency in the final moments of the war for you.
10 years is a long time to be somewhere.
Was she a prisoner still loyal to Sparta, or had she formed some connection to Troy after 10 years? The testimonies offer no clear answer for you.
Finally, the mystery of her name for you. Connected to torches, moon goddesses, dawn, even the planet Venus and the sun.
The etymology is really debated.
It's like her name itself carries all these different layers of meaning.
The etymological possibilities surrounding Helen's name suggest a potential connection to ancient deities associated with light, beauty, and even the cosmos for you, hinting at a possible pre-Greek origin as a goddess whose mythology later intertwined with human narratives. Maybe she was originally something else entirely.
Fascinating. So there you have it, the bizarre journey of Helen of Troy. A life stranger than fiction, filled with divine interventions, abductions, a world-altering beauty contest, and a war that echoes through history for you. What stands out to you most from these incredible testimonies? The sheer improbability of her birth, the constant struggle for agency in a world dominated by gods and heroes.
For me, what's most striking for you to consider is the enduring power of her story. Despite its many contradictions and ambiguities, Helen remains a compelling figure because she embodies so many timeless themes. Beauty and its consequences, the complexities of choice and fate, the destructive power of desire, and the enduring fascination with the divine intersecting with the mortal. She's just endlessly interpretable.
Helen's story, in all its messy, contradictory glory, reminds us that even the most legendary figures are often shrouded in mystery and subject to countless interpretations for you. Her wild and crazy life continues to provoke questions about beauty, fate, agency, and the very nature of myth itself.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to delve deeper into the ancient sources and explore the many different perspectives on this timeless enigma for you. What did we miss that truly unhinged you? Join the conversation. Share, rate, and follow the show for more wild stories.